Hey, Cage Side Press, Jake Noecker here, and with me today, fighting on this season, week 3 of Dana White Contender Series, Razor Robbie Ring. Robbie, about what, 2 weeks out now? How we feeling, man? You excited? You nervous?
More excitement than nervousness. I'm just enjoying the experience, enjoying the training, and just super blessed to be given this opportunity.
So, where were you when you got the call, and what was your immediate reaction?
I was actually at my house, and I got done teaching classes at my parents' gym, and I got a text from my manager, Jason House, with Iridium Sports, and he just said, "You ready to go? Contender Series. I got you an opportunity." And I looked over at my wife and I said, "It's time. I finally got my opportunity to show out." And then, I was super excited, and I knew that this was coming, but when it's actually turns to reality, you still got that kind of shock. So,
And did you guys just get married, or was that an anniversary that just happened?
oh no, I just got married last week. Yeah, last Saturday I got married to my wife.
Congrats, man. You got a lot of big things going for you right now, eh?
Yes, sir.
And this fight coming up, it has the potential to, I don't know, for lack of better words, change your life, right? Put you into the UFC, into the biggest caliber of MMA promotions there is. So, with that being said, are you looking at this like this is the biggest fight of your life?
Oh, 100%. It's the biggest fight of my life. Ever since a little boy, growing up watching the UFC, it's been, my goal to make it to this stage, sharing that same octagon as, all of my childhood idols. It's surreal, but, I'm training the same as I have for all of my fights. I take this sport very serious. I've been preparing for this for a long time.
Is there anything like different you have to do mentally to prepare for such a big fight?
Yeah, and it's something that I've been working on ever since that I turned pro. Back whenever I was coming up through the amateur ranks, I uh, I didn't have a lot of confidence in my ability. I was winning fights, but I still I didn't believe in myself. Now, I've ran through some pro fights and I've been successful, and now I'm starting to know myself that I'm good at this and I can compete with these guys at this high level, and I'm going to go and do it.
And your training camp, it's at Ring Combat, correct?
Yes, sir.
So, kind of just break down that gym. Who you training with? How's camp been?
Oh man, ring combat sports, it's my life. It's a gym that has been in my family. My mom started teaching martial arts back in 1970. She was a professional kickboxer and black belt under the Chuck Norris fighting systems. Her and my dad met at a martial arts competition. He's a black belt in Walt Bayless combat fighting systems. They opened up a gym here in Whitfield, Virginia, and I was a baby crawling across the mats. Spent my whole life there. Um, we've got a lot of hard nosed fighters at that gym. A lot of guys that still amateur, but they're studs. Um, my dad, he's been my coach ever since I started MMA fighting. He's built me from the ground up. I believe in the system that we're teaching. I tell everybody it's got an old school style to it. Like the old fighters like Randy Couture and Tito Ortiz. That style is getting kind of lost in modern day MMA, but we're still teaching it, and it's worked for me. So I can't wait to display it on the world's biggest stage.
Man, that's awesome. When I think of like dads coaching their kids, I think of like Devin Clark and his dad. Obviously, Chris Weidman. I believe Wonder Boy's dad coaches him too. So that would be cool, man. And I assume is he one of your corner members too?
Oh yeah, it's going to be my mom and my dad both in my corner for this contender series fight.
And you can only bring two cornermen, so it's just those two, right?
Just my mom and dad.
That might be a contender series first. A mom and dad coaching their son. That's awesome. And I mean, they've been around combat sports your whole life, so they're used to it. But gosh, I can't imagine having to coach my kid in that high stakes a match. So how do they cope with that? Like they can disconnect the child aspect and look at you like a fighter for 15 minutes.
Oh yeah, and that's every day. We definitely separate our family time with training. But as you might suspect, that doesn't always work out that way because we end up being talking about fights more than just family time. But they've been with me my entire career, so I guess that it's been different for them. I'm sure me being their son, it's not just another one of our athletes that train at the gym that they're cornering, but they know how hard that I work at this and how serious I take it. And so they give me the same back to me with my training and with them being in the corner.
And you would be the first UFC fighter representing your gym, right?
Yes.
So what would that mean for you, man?
No, that's really my why is the gym ring combat sports has been everything to me, and I feel like this is my way to give back to that gym to put us on the map and really just boost our popularity even more than it already is in this area.
Well, you got a big chance to do so August 22nd against Luis Pejuelo. What are your thoughts about Luis? I don't know if you've looked into him at all.
Yeah, we've definitely been watching film on him. He's from Peru. He's fought a lot over in that area, Peru, Argentina, and Brazil. I think that he's a tough fighter. I like watching him. He's entertaining to watch. He's a brawler. Um, the thing that I feel like separates me from him is he's a striker and I'm a full MMA fighter. I love every aspect of this game. I like the striking. I like pushing people up against the fence, and I also like slamming them down and hitting some ground and pound on them. So I feel like I've got the slight edge in there just because I've focused so much on multiple different aspects of the fight game and not just one.
Well, I'm looking too, and every win in your professional career, almost your entire career, is by finish. So I'm not necessarily needing a prediction from you, but obviously this is Contender Series, and you kind of need a finish, or at the very least to impress the hell out of Dana. So how important is that for you to get your seventh finish of your career?
Oh yeah, I that's definitely all. I'm always looking for the finish, get in and get out, and then reap the rewards from that fight. So I'm going to go in there, and I'm not going to force anything. But when the opening comes, I'm ready to finish the fight.
And do you have a prediction for me? I will ask now.
No, I've just like I've been talking to a lot of my teammates and my dad. Don't people don't need to be surprised. I've been working a lot on my strike, and don't be surprised if I get another knockout. But I know that if it gets to the ground, I know that my grappling's going to be over his grappling. So I could also see like a second round submission.
Are you a fan of watching? I mean, I know you said you're a fan of UFC, but do you also watch Contender Series past seasons?
Oh yeah, I keep up with every season of the Contender Series. I like watching these guys that in a similar boat as me go out there and see how they perform. So yeah.
And, a part of that is you get your win and then you're sitting in the back room in suspense, waiting to see if Dana will take you or not. So what's your pitch, man? Like you're back there, you're sitting. What do you have to tell Dana? Why do you deserve to be in the UFC?
That there's not too many guys on the roster like me. I'm just from a small little country area in Virginia. It's a blue collar town, factory workers. I'm the first to come out of this area. And, guys like me deserve a chance just as much as the guys, fighting from big gyms like American Top Team and, AKA. I work just as hard as those guys. And just because I'm from a small area doesn't mean that I can't go out there and compete with the best of them. And the last thing is, the UFC needs more good, level-headed guys on the roster. And that's what I pride myself in being is I'm a humble person. I teach kids at the gym every single week. This is a sport that I fell in love with at a young age and just wanted to do the rest of my life.
And what are your ultimate goals with the company?
Oh yeah, well, when you get there, I think it's your ultimate goal is to work your way up till you're a world champion. Do I think that I'm there right now? No, but I'm 23 years old. I just want to go out there and every fight put my heart out there and fight with that warrior spirit, put on a show for everybody, and then see where the sport takes me.
And as far as your debut, when you get the win, are there any specific cards coming up on the schedule that you could see yourself debuting on? Like, I feel like a lot of times Contender Series guys, they'll win the fight, get the contract, and then we don't see him for 9 months. So when do you want to make your debut?
Oh, I mean, they could call me. They could call me whenever they wanted to. If I get that contract, I'm wanting to step foot in that cage, get my feet wet. This is when you've worked so hard for something. I don't see why there would need to be a long layoff. Short notice. It could be months out. I just wanna get in there and fight.
Anybody you'd like to make a debut against, or at the least anybody that you want to fight soon in your UFC career?
You know, a dream fight, and of course, I don't believe that it would be early in my UFC career, just because this guy's been he's been steady with the UFC a long time. But I grew up idolizing Dominic Cruz, and it really hurt me when Cody Garbrandt uh, ended up knocking him out for the championship. So I've always said I can make 135 pounds. I'm a smaller 145-pound fighter, but if I could fight Cody Garbrandt at 135, that would be a dream fight right there.
You want that Dom Cruz revenge, eh?
That Dominic Cruz revenge. It's still in my heart a little bit. Still a little upset about it.
Yeah, that was a rough one. That was the one where Cody just styled on him, was dancing, and yeah.
He mocked him the entire fight, but he dominated, so you got to give it to him.
Yeah, classic performance, and hey, that's a fight I'd be down for, a little Cody G and Robbie Ring. But Robbie, another thing here is so many new eyes are going to be on you, right? ESPN Plus, UFC, Contender Series, Dana White's in the building, and you already have a big support system and fans as is. So that being said, like, tell us a little bit about yourself, other than the cage, like outside of the cage. How do you spend your free time? Like, what are your hobbies and interests?
Yeah, so when I do get free time away from the MMA gym, because I work there, and like I said, I teach the kids, and I really enjoy spending time with my wife. In this sport, you can get so you're almost a little selfish when you're an MMA fighter, because you're constantly working on yourself, improving your game. But when I just get to come home and just watch something on TV with my wife, that's some of the best ways that I like to spend my free time. I also like to go and fish. Living in the South, we got a lot of good fishing spots. So if I'm not spending time with my wife, I really enjoy the outdoors.
I'm a big fisher too. You get any crazy catches this summer?
When I've had time, I've hit the creek a little bit. I love fishing the creek, getting in there and cooling off a little bit, and catching some smallmouth bass. So yeah, I've caught a few this summer.
I'll send you I caught a nice flathead a couple weeks ago. I'll send you a picture after this. It was my catch of the year. And then your wife's she's a school teacher, correct?
Oh yeah, she's a school teacher here in the county, Wythe County, that I live in, and she just started last year. She finished up college, and she's a great teacher. She's a great support system for me too. That's how we actually met, because she messaged me about doing jiu-jitsu classes at my family gym, and then I looked at her Instagram page, and I was like, well, I can't be a creep with her asking about the business, but we ended up meeting and went on a date. Now we're married. So
that's awesome, man. And I'm asking about the teacher because how old are the kids? Are they like young kids?
Oh yeah, second grade.
Oh, that's perfect. So that this will make my question good. What are their thoughts about you being a fighter? I assume they know, and that, like, I don't know, if my second grade teacher's husband or wife was a UFC fighter, it'd be pretty cool.
Oh yeah, so I always like giving back to this community that supported me. So there's been multiple times that I've came to her school, and the gym teacher had me let the kids hit the mitts a little bit. So they all think that it's awesome that I do MMA fighting, and a lot of them, I could tell that their parents started following me on Instagram and Facebook, and I know that they're probably showing their kids, my posts and things. So they love it, man. And going and working with those kids and seeing the smiles on their face, doing something that I love, it's surreal to me.
And Robbie, I just want to give you the opportunity, with everyone watching the fight and your entire network behind you, supporting you. Anything you want to say to everybody? If so, the mic is yours.
All right, I appreciate it. The first thing that I want to say is, none of this that I've had would be possible without my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. I'm a hard worker myself, but he truly does give me the strength to go out there and push my body to the limits. And then the last thing that I want to say is, like I said, I'm just a small I'm from a small town, population's 20,000 in the entire county. Um, you can make anything happen with hard work. That's really all you need is just hard work and be dedicated to something. I spent, at age 13, I told myself that I wanted to do this. And at times it didn't look like it was going to be possible. I would be lying if there wouldn't be times that I told you, what am I even doing with my time? Am I doing it for nothing? But I just stayed working hard, just kept my nose to the grindstone. And I finally got an opportunity to showcase my skills at this level. And I'm going to make the most of it. August 22nd, tune in because I'm going to fight with everything that I have for this.
Well, Robbie, thank you so much for the time, man. It was an honor to talk to you. And sincerely, as a fan, I can't wait. And ladies and gentlemen, you shouldn't be able to wait either because August 22nd, ESPN Plus, Robbie Ring gets that contract in Contender Series. So, Robbie, thank you so much, man. And kick ass. All right, dude. Can't wait.
All right, man. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for having me on.
Of course.